evening, everyone. I'd like to call the July 10th Village Board meeting to order. Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Charlene.
Okay, this evening we'll be starting with trustee Maher.
Here.
Trustee McClafferty.
Here.
Shaughnessy.
Here.
Snagowski.
Here.
And Stapleton.
Here.
Okay, great.
There's one more.
And one more.
Janelle.
Oh, Janelle.
Oh, okay, you're down on another line, sorry. Okay, trustee Kittredge. Yes, okay.
All right.
I mean, I can go. You guys want me to go?
All right, next up, we have the consent agenda, which consists of the following. We have approval of minutes from the Committee of Whole on May 15th. We have the Village Board meeting minutes from June 26th. We have approval of disbursements from June 27th through July 10th, 2023. We have an ordinance, O-29-23, authorizing the sale and disposal of surplus village property. We have a resolution, R-43-23, authorizing a reduction of a letter of credit for Copper Ridge, which is Beecham and Dill. We have a resolution, R-44-23, authorizing a reduction of a letter of credit for Marble Landing, which is Hart's Homes. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Shaughnessy, seconded by trustee Snagowski, to approve the consent agenda. Any questions or comments regarding the consent agenda? Roll call, please.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Kittredge.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved. All right, next up, before we get into the mayor's mention, we have a police pension board appointment. Going to need a motion to approve the applicant Brad Gersovic, who has expressed interest and service of the village to be on the Lamont Police Pension Board and is recommended by appointment by the current board and mayor. This will be for a 2-year term. I need a motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion by trustee Stapleton, seconded by trustee Shaughnessy. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Kittredge.
Yes.
Okay, all right, congratulations, Brad. He actually was a member of the meeting today, but now he's an official member, so again, appreciate him stepping up and doing that. Next up, we have the mayor's mention. The Lamont Park District's Movies in the Park is tomorrow and features Lyle Crocodile. That will be viewed at Northview Park. Also on July 18th, Top Gun Maverick will be shown at Covington North Park. So please visit lamontparkdistrict.org for more information. This week's Heritage Corridor Business Alliance Wednesday night cruise nights is everyone's popular Jeep night. Again, that's the auto car show. It's next week, which will be on July 19th, is Chevy Corvette night. So again, they begin at 6 p.m. in our downtown Lamont. It's always a great time, great turnout. Hopefully the weather hangs in there. Please visit myhcba.com for detailed information. Also, this Thursday, July 13th, Sunset Soiree features Fire Chicken with classic rock music. On Thursday, the 20th, is Claremont Drive with Baby Boomer rock and roll music. Again, seating opens on Stevens Street in downtown beginning at 6 p.m. and bands begin to play. And they play from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Please visit the lamontparkdistrict.org again for more information. Also, if you are in need of a passport, we want to remind you that you can make an appointment with the Lamont Public Library, and they can help you get one. The library also has a number of events and activities all year long, so be sure to visit their website, which is the lamontlibrary.org. Also, our ever popular 150th anniversary t-shirts are a big hit. shirts and polos. You can order them by visiting Lamont150.com. Again, Lamont150.com, and select shop in the top right corner. This is a special online, which is presented by Ike's Store. Ike's Sports in Lamont is carrying a few designs in their store, but you may want to call them first to see what they have available, or please visit them. Lastly, talk about popular items. Pollyanna Brewing Company's Lamont 150 lager is pretty much sold out. However, we told that another batch will be ready this fall. They also have a limited number of 150th logo stemware glasses for purchase at the brewery. We want to thank both Ike's and Pollyanna Brewery for their involvement during our 150th anniversary. I find it shocking in Lamont that we ran out of beer, but another batch is coming, so good to hear. All right. Next up, we have the clerk's report. Charlene, take it away.
Okay, thank you. The first ordinance this evening is O-30-23, and this is amending Title 10, which is Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.24, Violations, Citations, and Penalties of the Village of Lamont Municipal Code.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee McClafferty, seconded by trustee Snagowski. Who's taking this
I'll take
one?
this, Mr.
Go ahead,
Mayor.
Chief.
We're proposing a amendment of our Section 10 ordinance tonight to give us, to tighten up a little bit of the tools that we have to combat the illegal street takeovers. We haven't had any recently here in town, but they are becoming popular in the Chicago area, and it's where the street racers just show up from a social media. They take over an area and they do this, kind of the street racing or the street they call drifting around. It's a dangerous situation. We did have a pop-up event like this about 2 years ago in the Jewel parking lot. That was invited by one of the takeout restaurants in that area. So these typically occur on private property. This ordinance will give us a couple of tools to break them up, and these seem to be effective in some of the other towns. And our attorney Mike Stillman had recommended that we pass this in the code to give us some a way to break these up if we do have them in town. But what this does is amend Section 1024-115 in the reckless driving, and basically says the operation or use of a motor vehicle in violation of reckless driving, so if they're doing the drifting or racing, shall subject the owner to an administrative fee of $2,000, which will be, heavier than the $75 fine that we have for most of our ordinances. So it'll just give us another disincentive when we show up there to be able to break them up and move them on.
Thanks, Chief. Any questions or comments for Chief? Roll call, please.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
McClafferty?
Yes.
Shaughnessy?
Yes.
Stogowski?
I do have a question, just thought of it. Mark, does this eliminate the 75? Or is there like a determination of type of recklessness?
No, this will be applied just to the reckless driving and those situations, and it would allow really the adjudicator up to $2,000. He wouldn't have to do $2,000.
Yes.
And this is both public and private property?
Correct, but most of these show up on private property. But yeah, if they came and took over an intersection, like you see in Chicago, this would apply to those as well. And like I said, I don't anticipate this happening here, but if it does, we have some tools to be able to show up there and move them out of town.
Yep. Sounds good.
Shar, yes.
Okay, Stapleton?
Yes.
Kittredge? Okay.
Okay, motion approved.
The next ordinance is O-31-23, and this is amending Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 16.061, and this is resident parking of the Village of Lamont Municipal Code.
Okay, need a motion, please.
Second.
Okay, motion by trustee Snagowski, seconded by trustee Stapleton, I believe?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Trustee Shaughnessy, I'm sorry.
He
Second,
made the motion.
okay, seconded by Snagowski.
Second.
Got it. Sorry about that. All right. Anything to add on this, Chief?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, this is a different ordinance recommendation. We're recommending revision to 10-16-61, which is the resident parking. This is a follow-up from our conversation with the high school that we had at the May-Cow, when we're talking about the resident parking complaints now in the area south of McCarthy Road from the high school. What we're recommending is to expand the current no parking resident 2-hour parking around the high school just for 2 blocks south of McCarthy Road, and specifically it would be McCarthy Street from McCarthy Road to Pulaski Street and Houston Street from McCarthy Road to Pulaski, and then the intervening east-west street, which is Sobieski from McCarthy to Houston. And to start there, and we'll see if that addresses some of the problem that we've seen this year as sophomores start getting licenses and don't have adequate parking around the high school.
Thanks, Chief. Any other questions?
Yeah, I get
Go
it.
ahead.
What is our plan to keep talking with the high school, or how are we gonna alleviate it? I mean, I read some commentary about, with the new homes coming in, for example, out of Glen Eagles, there's gonna be more parking required because there's gonna be more kids in the next 10 years. We can't wait 10 years to make a decision on what we're gonna do. We need to start thinking about it now. And to think that all 409 homes are gonna have people with children that aren't in high school, I think is also a misconception, because people are gonna come in whose kids are currently in high school. So we need to keep this thing front and center, and I just wanna make sure that we have some mechanism, maybe bring it up at the cow or something.
Rather than us.
I understand, but Ken, I'm just saying, we gotta keep a dialogue going, and if it's coming back to the cow meeting or whatever it is, this isn't going away.
The high school did mention that possibly turning that upper ball field closest to McCarthy Road into a parking lot. That would work, but it all comes down to money, I guess.
They have the money,
Yeah, well, yeah.
24 million in
Well,
the bank.
I just suggest we put it back on cow and stay on it, George, with them, obviously.
Semi-annually or every
Whatever,
quarter
yeah.
to invite them back out for a meeting.
I just
chief,
think, if we do it too far apart, it'll get forgotten, and it'll be like starting over every time we meet on it. So I think we ought to keep on it in a closer, like you said, quarterly, I think would be good. Probably summer isn't
Can
the
we-
best time to do it.
Can we go through the SRO there and just make sure that, I mean, to me, some of this is just communication from the administration to the, daily announcements, reminders, again, sophomore, with your new licenses, you're not supposed to park, or, I mean, to me, some of it's just communication. I don't know if maybe we could facilitate that through.
Yeah, we'll certainly make the plea to the students. I think it falls on deaf ears, and the risk of a small section addition is just pushing the problem a block,
Right.
to the east, block to the south.
Making their problem our problem, and rather than them taking care of themselves.
It's really a short-term Band-Aid fix, but long-term, we need to look at something, chief, and we'll keep on it.
Yeah, and I'll continue to talk to Brent Gagnon about solutions.
I do think having John, maybe you and George having a conversation with the board president versus, they had the principal out here, right?
Yeah.
You basically brought, they gave us somebody that didn't really have authority to say anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that was the point of why they just had him come out, right? And whenever anything came up of any money, it's like, well, we don't have money. Well, that's not an address when that's not addressing the issue.
I think you're right, Dave. And we need to get it to the board level, as the chief just said, because we've got to get it to people who are also affected. Board members may happen to live in some of the areas and are experiencing the problem.
It's affecting Central School too, that area, so.
It's just gonna get pushed around, and, anyway, sorry about that. Where were we?
We're all done with
yeah,
everybody.
thanks,
Okay.
Charlene.
It was
Okay.
passed, yes.
All right.
So that's all I have this evening.
Okay, next up, no village attorney report. George, administrator report?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, wow, all right. Gonna be record-breaking time here.
Yeah.
Chief's gonna.
Any board or board reports? Staff reports. Chief, go ahead.
Just real quick, one comment. I'd like to publicly thank Sheriff Tom Dart and the Cook County Sheriff's Department for their support on Tuesday during the fireworks. We were shorthanded and had asked for a couple of folks to come down. They sent us 5 members of a bike patrol, and they were very useful. They also sent their helicopter by for a little while to several of the public events in the county, and we appreciate their support and help. And by the way, I think kudos to the Park District. I think it was a very well-organized event.
Yeah, it's always, I know, favorites of everyone's, and great night, great weather, great fireworks. So, again, the village sponsors that along with the township and the Park District. So, again, great day. And how many officers? 5? Is that right, from Cook County? Yeah, 5. That's awesome. That's good. All right. Any other staff reports?
Yeah, I have some, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So just an update on our water tower on Derby Road in Archer. The painting and blasting crew are in their 3rd week of a 17-week schedule up there. So they're blasting the tower, then they'll paint it and then put the logo on it. And it's ahead of schedule. Everything is looking good up there. Hopefully the tower will get filled in October, and we move forward with that new facility up there.
Will there be 2 logos? One on each side, or
Good question. So yes.
which way?
So yeah. So as you're heading out of town on McCarthy Road, you get a wonderful view of the tower, and I think that's the mayor and I discussed. That's where the logo should be. So we need to figure out the angles of how that's going to work, but we are in contact with the painting crew, and they know that that's
Okay.
a topic of discussion for sure.
Thanks, Ralph.
Yep.
All right.
Mayor,
Yeah, go ahead, Chief.
thanks. Sorry, one thing real quick. I just wanted to mention the passing of one of our retirees last week. Joe Miller passed and was buried today, and we wanted to acknowledge his service to the town of Lamont, and maybe just a moment of silence.
Moment of silence, please.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. You all good? Okay. All right. Any new or unfinished business?
Yeah, I got
Go ahead.
two new items. One, Ralph, I had some questions come in on the sodding up on Hillview and seeding instead of the sodding. I know we're in drought conditions. I'm assuming that might have something to do with it. Can you?
Yeah, so as that project was nearing completion, we just entered June and in the middle of a drought. And I changed gears a little bit on that project to remove the sod from the contract and put dirt and seed down with blanket. Luckily, we had a couple nice storms in the last couple weeks, and it's all taking, and our residents on Hillview Drive are doing a great job watering it, so it's all coming in very well. But that was the reason, the drought conditions, that I changed gears on that project.
Okay. Good. I'll put that out on a social media where I got the address.
It's better in the long run anyway.
What's the
Seed
other
is much
It
better.
is better. It's more stable.
Right.
And I've been in that situation before where we lay down sod and no one waters it. And then I'm back,
Laying
putting
down more sod.
down. So it's,
And then I got one today. This is kind of one of my pet peeves anyway, so I'll bring it up again for, this will be for another cow meeting, I'm sure, but projects that we approve that seemingly get started by cutting down trees, clearing areas, exposing things that were hidden in the trees, and then they sit there for years. People are asking, what is happening with the property? Are they developing or aren't they developing? We've got to do something to get a foot up these guys' butts to get them to move, or we got to put something in and start pulling these permits quicker, something. I don't know if they just come to us to increase the value of the property to get it on the market or whatever the case may be, but I don't like it either. You see these things get tore up, they sit there, they're under construction for years. It looks terrible. And we need to do something about that. So I thought it was a great question. I didn't have an answer, other than I bring it up tonight.
No, it's a good I mean, just go down 127th Street, right, between Archer and State. You have both sides. 3 different projects just kind of sitting there.
some of these are within neighborhoods that are more problematic. I mean, I know we have the problem you guys brought up down on, I think it's on Division, that's a single site. I'm not even talking about that. That's exceptional too, but something to keep these things going, or at least get a schedule from that tells us what they're doing and when, and a commitment to do so. If it's just coming to us to improve the value of the property, to put on a market to wait for something to happen, then I'm not interested in approving it. Wait till you're closer, sell the property, let the next guy come in and do it. And then you see a guy like Matt Dill in the Beechman Dill project, I mean, he starts, he's done. He's ready for another one. I'd like to see him take over some of these things that are sitting, but that's a whole nother story.
Got it.
Okay, I've got one.
Yeah.
I know Mike Stillman was supposed to be handling this, but the billboard on 83, any word on that?
Yeah, they've made notice, and I have written confirmation that they've made notice to the billboard company
They're good.
within the 30-day window.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
So, yeah, all required notices has been made. Yep. No, it's near and dear to your heart, Ron, and
I know.
so Mike's on it.
Billboards are litter on a stick, I know.
I agree.
Never heard that one.
Did you coin that one? That's good.
All right, anything else? All right.
Thank you.
So, George, take over audience
Yeah, it's
participation.
that time of the agenda now, or if anyone has any audience participation, you can come on up. Jerry, yeah, come on up. The floor is yours, and we'll have 3 minutes, and just state your name for the record.
You get
I know
the
you-
floor, you get the walls, get it all.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Okay, thanks to Ralph, we mentioned the painting of the water tower. I assume we're gonna get the same logo that we have on on State Street.
I can't hear.
Okay. Had a friend come in a couple weeks back, comes off of 355 on 127th, he's tooling down there, gets to State Street and he looks up. I'm talking to him later and he says, "What the heck is that?" I said, "Well, that's the Lamont logo." And he says it's, his words, "It sucks." He says, "I don't know what it means. It's got different colors. It's got an L on it. It says Lamont underneath." He says, "The old historic downtown was better because you knew what you were looking at. It was downtown Lamont." And I know it's too late now to change, probably, but the next time it comes around to paint, please think about downtown Lamont, historic, all you guys. Everybody up there.
Way to
even
go,
the
Ralph.
clerk. Think about changing it to the old one that most people recognize and know what it means. And I looked on the website, village website, to see, the definition. What is this color and all that? I can't find it on the village website that explains what all this is supposed to mean. I know there was a memo out about it because I remember seeing it back in 2016 when this all started, but it sucks. And
Just
if there was a
quoting, right?
contest in the high school of that, to pick the logo, I'm sorry, I apologize to the person that designed it, but it sucks.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.
Anything else?
Oh,
Yeah, no problem.
You can't hear me, Joe. I'm asking what happened with the annexation of the Citgo property. The last time I was in here, I asked whether or not they were gonna do an environmental due diligence on that property before taking possession of it. Because what's gonna happen is that Citgo goes out of business, which eventually they will, and they usually go out because they lose their finances, then it's going to be anything on that property that was, not supposed to be there is gonna be up to the village to pay for and to get rid of. And I'm just wondering if anybody did a due diligence before accepting the property into the village.
It was Citgo's property and still is Citgo's
Yeah,
property.
it's just because
No,
they,
it's not.
just because they annex in doesn't mean we have ownership. We do not have ownership, and we would not, even if they went
Just
bankrupt,
jurisdiction.
we do not take ownership. This would be a private matter in court that they'd have to. We do not own anything of their property.
Well,
And we wouldn't even if they went bankrupt.
but if it should happen that you take, not possession, but if it comes into the village as an annexation, and it's part of the village, and there isn't anybody that's going to pay to clean it up, then the taxpayers are gonna end up cleaning it up. And this happened, on another area, pretty far away, where they waited until they were going into, they didn't have any money left to do anything. The owners of the property didn't have any money to do anything. And then all of a sudden, the property was left, and it was polluted, and, there was no, money to get it cleaned up. And in that case, if you wanted it cleaned up, who was gonna pay for it? The taxpayers. And I'm just saying, I have never heard of anybody getting any interest in property without at least doing environmental due diligence. No matter what, we don't own it. Vermont doesn't own it. When I say we, Vermont doesn't own it. So you think you're okay, and I don't think you are. So I'm just saying, I think there should have been some kind of environmental due diligence before you annex them in. That's it.
Again, Jeanette, the vacant land that was annexed, the village did not buy it, does not own it. Vacant land, annexed, jurisdictional annexation, but thank you for your comment. Anybody else? All right, that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, George. All right. With that being said, we have no executive session. So we need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All right, motion by trustee Stapleton, seconded by trustee Snagowski. Roll call, please.
Trustee Maher,
Yes.
McClafferty,
Yes.
Shaughnessy. Whoop. Oh, okay.
Temporarily, yes.
Trustee Snagowski,
Here.
then Stapleton,
Yes.
and Kittredge.
All right, motion approved. Everyone, thanks for coming out, and everyone have a great week. Take care.
Thank you.